Hey everybody, what's going on? Goofy Rexy here. Hope everybody is doing well. And I wanted to talk about the top five simple resource fixes that I think Marvel Strike Force could make here that would benefit the beginner players all the way up until the end game players and just improve the overall experience in the game. And some of them, like I said, really very simple changes for them to be able to make, because some of these are just really antiquated rewards. So let's first start off and talk about the gold orb area. And I want to highlight this first by going over to a Reddit post. So there was a player that talked about this in a Reddit post here. I think it was yesterday. This was by Only One FPS. And he mentioned this: 5 pulls at gold orbs, a total of 835,000 gold is received from that, averaging 167,000 gold. And the cost to go up from level 65 to level 66, which is an earlier player, is 250,000 gold, which is ultimately ridiculous. And I definitely agree. It has been far too long for them to take a look at the minimum that you're able to get from these gold orbs. And like, what do you feel, guys, is a good number for them to change it to? I think personally, a good number to change, like I said, the bare minimum right now is what, 170 plus 40. I hate math so much. It's 150,000, right? So I think bringing this up to probably 300,000, 250,000, if you think that's too high, is really not that crazy, considering that an end game player, to be able to bring a character from 75 to 76 is 400 plus K gold. It's really not that crazy for them to make this sort of a change to these gold orbs. What do you think is a good number, guys? I want to know, but I think this is a simple fix that they could definitely make in Marvel Strike Force, if you ask me. Another area where I think that they could make a very simple change that would go a long way with the player base here are arena and rewards. And I've talked about this at length. Once, the first time when they brought in the arena store where characters were going to be farmed at this higher clip for higher arena credit amounts, I said this from then. I said, you need to really look at your arena rewards that players are getting, because it's very antiquated. Even if you're looking at cores alone, right? Let's talk about this for a second. If you're someone that spends 400 cores a day because you're spending cores on your ISO campaign energy farms, and then you're also your regular campaign energy farms, in order for you to even be able to just get back 200 of your cores that you're spending, you have to be in the top 50 in order to be able to do so. And you're not even getting back your 400 cores. Now, of course, there's other ways in the game that you are able to get cores throughout the day. But I think from an arena perspective, it has been far too long for them to update the rewards that you're getting from it. It's quite antiquated, the rewards that you're getting from the store now. And across the board, same with the arena store too. Like, for a beginner player to be able to target farm characters in an arena store, it costs way too many credits. And you can see the rewards that players are getting. It costs 975 credits for a player to farm a character in the arena store. It is very hard for beginner players to be able to do, in my opinion, and you're not even really getting those 975 unless you're in the top 3. I think that's kind of crazy. You should at least be able to farm a character every single day. So they need to really up these rewards, at least at a bare minimum. I would say for the top 50, give them 400 cores here. And then top 500, at least give them 200 cores a day. I think that's one very simple fix, in my opinion, that they could definitely make that will go a long way, I think, with the player base. All right, and next we're going to talk about number 3 and number 4. Number 3 for me is going to be ability materials. I'm going to talk about it from the perspective of a beginner player or earlier player, someone that's not super end game, which is like you're level 90, level 95, around there. Then I'm going to talk about it from the perspective of an end game player, something that they should definitely do with ability materials. I'm also going to talk about raid or reward adjustments, because there's a lot of backwards progression, and we'll talk about that here as well. But as a beginner player or earlier player, you let me know if you have this problem, right? So you're doing Ultimate 6, you progress now to the point where you're doing Ultimate 6 raids, and you're looking at your ability materials. You're getting, for your rewards, you're getting T2 ability materials, you're getting T3 ability materials, right? All right, cool. That sounds good. Then your alliance progresses to Ultimate 7, or you get into an alliance that's doing Ultimate 7 raids, right? And then now for your rewards, you're no longer getting T2 ability materials. So you're getting more T3s, and that's great. And you have this abundance of T3s that are now there, but then you can't use your T3s because you don't have enough T2s, especially now that you have to start building out these wide variety of teams. To me, this is backwards progression. that Scopely does a lot in Marvel Strike Force. This is something, in my opinion, that's very simple to fix and something that's very easy to change. If you ask me, they need to start implementing it where you're not cut off from a previous resource because you now start to do higher content. You still need that older resource in order to be able to use the newer resource, and they do this a lot. It's something that I definitely think that they should change. I also want to talk about this as well as an endgame player. Like some of you endgame players, let me know, how many T3 ability materials do you guys have? Seriously, how many of these T3 ability materials do you currently have? I have 119,000, which I think is a lot. There should be a system in place where you can, and of course they would have to make sure that they are not cutting off previous resources to do this, but there should be a system in the game where you can convert your T1s into T2s, your T2s into T3s, your T3s into T4s, because a lot of endgame players, right, we have struggles with T4s. There needs to be a conversion system. Other games do it. Very simple, I think, to be able to do that as well. That's something that they should definitely implement in Marvel Strike Force. I also want to talk about the raid reward adjustments and that thing that they should make as well. As it pertains to raid rewards, we just talked about this backwards progression, right? If you're jumping into your Doom 1 raids, and we're going to compare Doom 1 to Doom 2 and then Doom 2, and so on and so forth. So if you're jumping into your Doom 1 raids, your rewards, once again, you're getting some Armory 15 orbs here. You're getting some Orange Gear raid orbs, right? It's cool, sounds good, very sexy. Then you jump over into your Doom 2 raids. Well, actually, I think you got to kind of look at it at higher difficulties, right? It's about the same thing. But then you go over to your Doom 2 raids, right? Let's take a look here at like your difficulty 1. You're getting Orange Elite orbs, which, by the way, are better because you're still getting the gear from the Orange Gear raid orbs, but then now you're also getting some hero uniques. But why cut off the previous Orange Gear raid orbs? And then guess what? You're not getting fragments for now. You're not getting fragments for the Armory 15 orbs. And this has created a lot of bottlenecks, especially as it pertains to even like the Armory 14 orbs. Now, if you were here around when players got the $20 massive amount of Armory 14 or Armory 14 orbs, probably not a big deal or a big issue, but there's a lot of players who will be getting to this point that probably at some point that did not benefit from that offer. Now you're cut off from getting some previous resources, and then Armory 14s and Armory 15s become a bottleneck when it really should not be the case anymore, or even just having things like health catalysts that become a massive bottleneck that shouldn't be that much of a bottleneck anymore because, once again, of this backwards progression, right? And if you go to Doom 3, Doom 3 is not, I think the rewards are overall better, but you're still kind of cut off from some of the previous resources. Once again, the Orange Gear raid orbs and things like that. So there needs to be a way where they stop this backwards progression thing in Marvel Strike Force, where you don't cut off the previous resource that you were getting before. You keep that going along while you're getting the new resource that is being introduced into Marvel Strike Force as well. And my last thing, man, this is just a gripe for me. I know it's a gripe for a lot of players too. Now, I do pretty well with these because I only spend 1.5 to 2 billion gold a day, right? That's all I spend. So therefore, I'm able to kind of space out my training materials a lot. But the reason why I do that is because I know that if I just level up what I want to at the time when I want to, I'm going to run out of, even if it's not what I want to, it's just things that I need for content. If I do it swiftly, like right now, I have my Rebirth team that's not fully leveled up because I got to slowly do it, because if I just do it all at once, I'm not going to be able to have enough gold or training materials to even do it all at once anyway. So it won't even matter, right? So to me personally, like, they need to change where ability materials are such a massive bottleneck, or they need to change it to the point where players it's just not there in the game anymore. Like, eliminate training materials. If you're not going to improve the gold economy enough to where it matters, then you also need to get rid of the training materials as well, just entirely, because to me, you shouldn't have gold and training mods be a bottleneck. Like, just have it be gold if that's the direction that you want to go, and eliminate the training map bottleneck. It's once again kind of antiquated in my opinion. Let me know what your opinion are as it pertains to the training mats. Like, how many times are you like, I have a bunch of gold, but now I have no training mats, or I have training mats and I have no gold, right? Like, it's always the inverse if you kind of look at it from that perspective. Well, listen, let me know what your thoughts are, guys, right? Like, I want to know, where are you? Like, what other, maybe even simple resource fixes do you want to see in Marvel Strike Force that could probably definitely improve the game. Also, take a look at this other video that I made as well, where we talked about the 5 improvements in Marvel Strike Force that are necessary in order for them to be able to make changes here in the game. Take a look at that video, because I also want to know what you guys are thinking about as it pertains to that as well. But appreciate you guys watching the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you like the information that we talked about here today. Hit the notification bell so that you know when the videos will go live down in the description. Also, take a look at my social media links there, Twitter, Instagram, join my Discord and all that, guys. But until next time, appreciate you. Also, support the Patreon as well, guys. Just $1 a month. Appreciate it if you do so. Listen, until next time, guys, y'all be blessed. Y'all be safe.